I pledge my head to clearer thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, and my health to better living for my club, my community, my country, and my world. If you know that pledge, you know that we're talking about 4-H today. If not, welcome to Appalachia at ya, and you're going to learn all about the world's largest youth organization. We are green and white today in honor of National 4-H Week, and we have some great 4-H agent in the cerebral rocking chair. So let's get started with the show. Hello, everybody. We're going to give you a little introduction to 4-H. 4-H is the world's largest youth organization, and it is available to all 95 counties of Tennessee. So to fully understand 4-H, I'm going to give you a little sample of the history of 4-H. 4-H in Tennessee has touched the lives of more than 4 million young people in our state. It's the reason for its broad impact as 4-H provides educational experience that helps youth gain knowledge and life skills to live healthy, make intelligent career choices, and form positive attitudes. These clubs started in the early 1900s as corn clubs for boys and canning clubs for girls, and it's grown into the educational program that it is today. So when I was a youth, when I heard 4-H, I thought a lot about cattle showing livestock and things. We certainly do those things, as you'll find out, but we have expanded so much more and really have something for everybody. And they are brought to you by screened adults, background check, verified adults, and professional educators in our 4-H staff. So you're going to learn about a lot of stuff that we do. If you don't have children, you may want to share pastimes or hobbies or passions with the youth of Tennessee, and we have that connection. But just the reason my 4-H was formed, so we have to look at the land-grant university system. So the land-grant university system is home to 4-H. So each state has a land-grant university. In Tennessee, it's the University of Tennessee. And the Extension Service has created the land-grant to bring the knowledge, the research, and the information from the land-grant institution to the citizens of the state and the counties. So the first extension agents would do that, but they found that a lot of traditional farming practices, agriculture, natural resource practices were not being accepted of the new knowledge and information coming to the university. So what better? We shall be led by the children. 4-H was created to help build up our agriculture and natural resources community and youth education. So today we have our Blount County Extension staff to tell you all the things that are available in Blount County. And if you're not in Blount County, we will talk about what's open as a state, and you can find resources and things at your county extension office. So I want to welcome two guests to the cerebral rocking chair. Special guest today here on the Appalachian At Ya podcast. It is Green and White edition. We are all head, heart, hands, and health today. We have two 4-H agents that I work with here in Blount County. We have James McMillion and Amy Berger. Welcome. How are y'all doing today?
Doing great.
Doing great.
So we wanted to do a 4-H only podcast since next week is National 4-H Week. It's the first week of October historically. And 4-H has been in Tennessee since the early 1900s, I'd imagine. It started out, I think, in Ohio as a corn club, but it has expanded, and now all counties in Tennessee have access to 4-H, all 95 counties. So you're talking today with Blount County, 4-H's finest. So James, how many kids are active in our county program?
We have 1,300 that are enrolled and active.
And what are some things that 4-Hers do in Blount County?
There is really a wide array with 4-H in general. So you mentioned that it started as a corn program. And while agriculture is still a huge part of that, We have an active livestock group and a very active horse group. There's also other opportunities in 4-H, from fashion and design to computer science to entomology, studying bugs, which is not my thing, but is a very important part of our world. So there's a huge variety of opportunities. If you get involved in a club in 4-H in Blount County, you'll open your eyes to all the opportunities we can offer you.
And 4-H is almost synonymous with leadership and citizenship. We have some premier programs dealing with those two subjects.
When I hear 4-H, I think a lot of people, when I was younger, when I'd hear 4-H, I thought farming. You had to have cows, goats, chickens, showing. And that's still a lot of what we do, but we are very diverse. We've diversified our programs over the years. We still do that, but we offer so much more. I myself lead the Grill Master program. We had 103 kids registered across the region. We hosted that big event here in Blount County, and kids learn how to grill, cook, and learn about fire safety. They have to choose a protein of beef, pork, poultry, or lamb, and it was really good smelling. So we had a great time out there, and they did a good job. Nothing burnt down.
Nope.
A life skill is what I'm trying to say. So most of our activities focus on life skills, wouldn't you say?
Agree. Yep, absolutely.
So what age groups are 4-H available to in Blount County?
So 4-H, we kind of go by grade, but there's also age. But they are able to join in 4th grade and then through their 12th grade year. And that there's just a ton of opportunities. And James, you can speak to age if you want to, but there's a ton of opportunities, and obviously those opportunities increase more and more as they get into the high school years. But there's definitely some things that even 4th graders can compete with, including the Grill Master, which was new this year for 4th graders and the younger ones to be able to compete in. But I think that went great.
And most of our membership here in the county is in school, but if you are homeschool, we do offer a younger program called Clover Buds, but that is volunteer leader led. And so if we do not have a volunteer to conduct that program, it's not offered, but it is available. So Clover Buds would cover like K through 3rd grade.
You bring up a good point about 4-H volunteers. James had mentioned that there's 1,300 kids that are involved in Blount County 4-H, and there's only 2 4-H agents here. I don't count fully. I'm not 100% 4-H. I do enough to be dangerous. But talk about the volunteerism in 4-H and how adults can be involved if they wish to be.
First of all, Ronnie is cutting himself short. He's a very, very important part of our program. The Grill Master, what he just talked about, but also I'm sure he'll talk about our shooting sports program here in a little bit. He's been a major player in that. But we cannot do this program without volunteers. We oversee those volunteers, and we oversee the programs in general, and we have a major hands-on part of these programs. But there's only 24 hours in a day and 365 days in a year, and except leap years. So we certainly need those extra hands to help with us. And there's tons of program. Like I said, our horse program is really big. We rely on a lot of volunteers to help with that program. James leads up the livestock program, and while I consider horses livestock, we kind of separate them out for time purposes. And James, you can speak to your need for volunteers on that. But certainly when camp time comes around, which is a great time for those youth, we certainly need volunteers for our summer camping program too.
Yeah, and roughly we have 120 volunteers on the rolls, and they go through training, just as you would imagine. They also would background check them if they're working with the youth in any form or shape, and if they're working like in the office here, helping us do something where there are no youth involved, we do have levels. You could be a level 1 volunteer, where you have no involvement with the youth. You could be a level 2 volunteer where you work with them sporadically. And then level 3 volunteer, you are working with them on an extended period of time, or it could be overnight stay. So anyone age, I think it's 18 and up, can become a volunteer. And as Ms. Berger was just explaining, when we take you to camp, we also take teen leaders, teen volunteers. So if you're between the ages of 14,
10th through 12th grade.
yeah, you can go as a teen volunteer to camp.
Well, I've been a parent for 3 years. I have a 3-year-old daughter, so I'm not as experienced as some parents. But what makes me feel good about 4-H leaders is they're all screened and background checked if they're overnight and level 2 or above. Correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So your children are in safe hands. We do a great vetting process. That really is what separates us from many youth organizations, is that we do that vetting process, and that's not cheap and easy to do. But we do conduct those to make sure that we have safety and our adult leaders are doing what's right by children. And it's all education focused. We're not just arts and crafts or competition. We do some of that stuff, but we're all educational focused. So those adult leaders bring that expertise, and we should teach them how to be great 4-H leaders. So 4-H is set up to whereas if you're an adult and you have a passion that you want to share with children, you can become a 4-H leader and share that to future generations. I know in other counties that I've been in, we've had theater clubs, we've had pigeon racing clubs, and let me tell you, I had nothing to do with that. I'm the farthest from racing pigeons or learning how to act, but we had those clubs because we had passionate people that wanted to share that with the kids. So if we're going over something today and we don't have that club, let's say if you're interested in rabbits or llamas and you really love that, and you wanted to teach kids that, they may be a home for you to do that and share that with the 4-Hers. But to highlight some of our programs, Amy's real proud of her horse group, rightfully so. They've got some accolades. Tell us about your horse group, Amy.
Yeah, so our horse program is really big, and mostly, and if not all, because of our volunteers involved in that program. Our volunteers really do make a huge difference. Our volunteers and the parents that are involved in any program, but in our horse program especially, have made it very successful, and lots of kids that see it as like a family, and that's where their friends are, and they love going to it. It's created quite a community, but they are very welcoming to everyone coming in. They're always eager to meet new people and have new people join. So if you're interested in the horse program, send me an email. But the horse program, the first thing you need to know is you do not have to have a horse to do the horse program. Although we do have the horse show component too. I'll get to that in a minute. So you get to do stuff with your horses, but there is the Appalachia horse foal program, and that's kind of our educational piece where you learn about science and other parts of the horse industry. And then we do several practices for that. We're going to be starting those next month in October. And then we will have a contest for that in January. And while we're working up to a contest, again, it is truly about teaching those life skills and those that knowledge of the horse and the horse industry. Then the next component is our horse judging, where youth learn to evaluate horses based on conformation, performance, several other factors. And they would learn to rank them like they would if it was a class at a horse show. And then we typically start that around March, and then have a contest for that later in the spring. Again, while we are gearing towards a contest, all of this is all about teaching those life skills and that knowledge to those youth. Then we have the communications component, which is where youth learn and give a demonstration on something horse related. One of our youth gave a demonstration last year, for example, on how to deworm a horse or give anthelmintics, which is a very important part of our industry and important to know the right way and the wrong way. There is a wrong way to do that. So that was a great demonstration. And then a new component this year that was added by some really great extension agents in some other counties, which is a great part of our program. We work really well together as a state. They have added an art contest and a photography contest. So those youth really interested in that artistic style of things get to be a part of that. And we had youth very successful in that. We had a junior win the art contest and a junior win the photography contest. So they were really excited about that. And then lastly, of course, the horse shows, which everybody loves, including myself. So if you have a horse or if you are able to lease a horse, you could certainly be involved in that and get to hone in your horsemanship skills and so on. And while we, as a 4-H program, do not provide horses, we can kind of gear you in a direction to some coaches and trainers in our area that are involved in our 4-H program and that really like this and work with youth a lot.
I'm smiling because I was very ignorant when I started work, still am on a lot of things, but I thought, when I saw hippology, I thought, what in the world is hippology? I said, we're going to study hippopotamuses? Or
That is a good question. Actually, one of the main questions usually on the in the hippology contest, so I wish I had a youth here with me to ask, but hippology, so ology tends to stand for the study of, and the HIPP part of that is actually horses. So that is always a question. So it's a study of horses, or the study of equids, which is equine or horses. That would include donkeys and mules and so on, and even zebras, really. But that is always a question, and one of the options usually is the study of hippos. So it's a common one.
And it's so diverse. I mean, once you get into this program, you can break out into, there's Western, there's the English, where if you like to wear the hat and the pants, I call it, different kind of riding style. But this is not just a riding club. Your children will learn a lot about science and that industry. So if you have an interest in that, that would be a great thing. Very diverse program. James coordinates in-school clubs and programs. What do they do in the schools?
Okay, you took me down a different road. I was going to go somewhere else, but I'll talk a little bit about that. In club schools, we focus on primarily. I'm gonna say family and consumer sciences issues and things of that nature. But in addition to that, and we do that because they all live in a home. They all have refrigerators. They all have food. They all have things of that nature. But in addition to that, we are growing GPS, GIS. We formed a regional group committee, and we're going to come up with a GPS program that we're going to launch this year. We're also, and you know this as well as I do, we're really building up shooting sports, competition, and not just competition, but education, safety around shooting sports. I'm starting a military club dealing with military youth. Now, I see some overlap, but we have an air base here in Blount County, McGee-Tyson Air Base, and it's a facility where people come in for 6 to 10 months at a time. They bring their whole family, and we're going to try to incorporate them into a 4-H program that when they go to their next bastion or station, they can join a 4-H group there and be exposed to similar or like programming. Also, engineering and safety science. We have had several youth that have shown an interest in maybe building, such as robots or other engineering features. Livestock judging, that is becoming a little bigger activity here in the county. And just a few of our namesake programs, such as public speaking and achievement. Amy and I, we've kicked around some ideas, and we're going to try to really explode the public speaking program and also the achievement program, which is sort of two-faced. If you are a young member, 4th through 5th grade, you can give a demonstration. If you are 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, you can do what we call an interactive exhibit, where you don't demonstrate how to do something, but you write a resume, sort of what you have done in a project area. So that's some of the things that we're shooting for this year, to improve on, to expand on, to grow. And one other thing I wanted to mention, we have a dairy poster. Well, we have 2 poster contests. We have a 4-H poster and we have a dairy poster contest. And the dairy poster contest comes with some prize money. And we've been beating the bushes for years trying to get kids to enter dairy posters in the contest. And so anybody listening now, I would like to sort of drive this one home. We had a youth last year. She was 5th grade. She entered a dairy poster, and she won second place at the state level, and walked away with $300. And when I share that with the students that I'm enrolling this year, their eyes light up like, well, what's first place? Well, what's first? I said, well, first place is $550. So there is some money, but we don't want them to do it just for the money, because it's a learning opportunity no matter what you do. And I've always been told that you can learn something new every day if you don't fight it too hard.
That's right. Yeah. But speaking of communications, that's a big part of what we do, providing life skills. But public speaking is one of my favorite, because no matter what you do, no matter what walk of life you take, you have to communicate. So some of these kids may be my boss one day, and they have to give me directions on how to scrub the toilet. So I always joke with them and say, no matter what you do, I had to take public speaking at UT, and it's about in front of 250, 300 people. So getting in front of your peers can be nervous, but it's so good for the kids because it is a career skill. No matter what they do, they'll have to do it. But we always enjoy those in-school clubs, and it sounds like a lot of cool and inventive things coming up through the military clubs and the STEM activities and engineering. They'd mentioned a little bit about the shooting sports. That is trying to get built up. We're having an informative meeting tomorrow, September the 26th, at 5 p.m. here. We have a lot of y'all registered and signed up. But we'll be going over what it takes to have a successful shooting program, and that starts with adult leaders that that the 4-H agent can support. It starts with the kids. But really, we're looking at life skills, mental aptitude, safety, obviously, and responsibility. It's a great program to increase that. You don't have to be a hunter or someone outdoors. They could be kids that have never picked up a firearm before. So we're trying to get archery, air rifle, BB, small bore, which is 22 caliber, and shotgun discipline started. So if you have youth that want to get involved in shooting sports for those great reasons, or if you want to lead that program, that would be great. We need adult leaders to be registered as volunteers, to be vetted. And also, they have to go above and beyond and become certified shooting sports instructors, so they make sure that they can safely handle that discipline. We'll teach you the basics of what you need to know to lead those programs, but really that'll be your discipline, your team to lead. We want to build championship kids, not necessarily championship shooters. So you'll get to learn that, and it's great exposure. There's college scholarships available on those teams on the collegiate level. There's tournaments and meets that you compete in and have fun. But you don't necessarily have to have your own equipment. You're going to be more successful if you do. But if you want to give it a try, depending on grants and scholarships, everything takes money to run. So we're still looking for partners and scholarships, and we need parents just to be boosters. So if you can be in the booster club and help find places for our kids to shoot and raise money, that would be great. So To be successful, we need all those things. So if you haven't, email me at rcallen2@utk.edu. You can register to come to that event and learn more about shooting sports and hopefully get that off the ground and have more avenues for our children. A couple things that I like to bring to 4-H is I'm also a certified wildlife biologist, so having programs and natural resources. So I went to the regional forestry judging event a couple of weeks ago, and it was a lot of fun. They had to identify species of trees, bugs, and diseases, and they learn how to measure timber. So they're in the outdoors learning about nature, and they also have introductory course in a career in forestry. So it's a very good program. We also have wildlife judging. That is something really fun, that they learn different species of wildlife, their habitat, and they really get to learn about nature. So if you want your kids to be connected to the outdoors, which research shows that we really need to be pushing, 4-H has those avenues as well. We'd already mentioned Grill Master. There's going to be another course in that called Meat Judging. That is a very similar thing where we learn how to identify cuts and where they come from. These kids learn 160 different cuts of meat from beef, pork, and lamb. So they'll get to pick out steaks and save some money at the grocery store looking for that quality there. So we do in-club meetings, community clubs, we do judging teams, all to educate your children. Our 4-H faculty and staff are dedicated educational professionals. So they've been trained to educate, they have degrees, and they are also here to aid in teacher instruction. So if you're a teacher and they come to your classroom, they try to meet your standards and work with you. And if you haven't had 4-H and you want to, you can reach out and try to explore that possibility. They can come to you or set something up to help get children involved. But Amy is a 4-H alum and a native Blount County person here in the 4-H program. What is one of your favorite memories, or as an alumni or as a professional in 4-H?
Yeah, well, I probably have one for each of those. Growing up in the 4-H program in Blount County really had a big impact in shaping who I am today. If you knew me as a young child, you knew I was not comfortable talking in front of people, like we were talking about those communication skills. While I did some of those communications events, I would also consider the judging teams and the reasons that you have to give, oral reasons, which is another communication component. And that's really where I learned to be confident in front of people and learn to stand up and talk and be able to think clearly talking in front of people. So I say all that to say 4-H had a huge impact on my life, not just for that, but for several reasons. But one of my favorite memories, and I think just because it was so impactful in a lot of ways, is I had a horse that I was showing with, and the horse did not know showmanship. And if you're not familiar with showmanship, it's groundwork basically, and you have a pattern that you go do, and you kind of have to be pretty perfect on the pattern to do well in the class. And you can look up stuff on YouTube, it'll show you more about it. But basically, again, you have that pattern and you're leading your horse through it. But it is very hard to do if you don't work with your horse a lot on it, even with the best of the horses. But I had worked with my horse all year, pretty much every day. I spent 10-15 minutes working with her on it. And she wasn't the easiest horse in the world to do this with, but she did great. And we were able to win the state, that class at the state show. That meant a lot to me, not just for winning a class. I mean, yes, it's always fun to win. But more kind of was that reward, and really showed me as, a high school teenager, that hard work really does pay off. And if you stay at something and really stay consistent and put the work in, it's going to pay off eventually. And I try to tell youth that now, that, and even using that as an example, if you go put in the work and put in that time, it's going to make a difference. And if you don't put in the work and don't put in the time, that's also going to make a difference in kind of the negative side. So that's kind of my favorite memory from when I was a 4-H member. Of course, there's plenty of other great memories from them too. I do want to share one, if you don't mind, as a professional too. This kind of goes back to the horse clubs. I work with them a lot, but there is some youth that it's more just seeing the youth as they grow through the program. And some of these that are scared, kind of like I said, to talk in front of people and really may have some specific anxiety issues and so on. And then we always ask these youth at our monthly horse club meetings to stand up and get lead the 4-H pledge, a different youth every time. And so they kind of learn, even just at our monthly meetings, to be confident in that. And then especially when everyone joins them, it kind of encourages that confidence. But when I have a youth that is very anxious and very nervous about giving any kind of leadership to something, and a year later is raising their hand at the region contest and asking me, begging me if they can lead the 4-H pledge, and which is one of the hardest ones. Usually people want to do the American pledge because everybody knows the American pledge, or hopefully. That meant a lot to me to see that growth in that child specifically, but really all of the youth. It's so fun to watch their growth through the years. So that's been a great one for me.
Yeah, that's great. So you mentioned the pledge. Let me ask you a question. So when you do the pledge, you place it's head, which you put your hand on top of your head. It's heart, which you put your hand over your heart. And hands, you stick your hands palm open, correct? Well, some people in my previous program that were there a long time, they did this world motion. Have you all seen that before?
I have not.
Yes.
So I think that used to be the thing, but I don't know if that is a rule or what.
It's not a rule, but I have seen people from other states primarily.
Mm-hmm.
When you do your health, it's the whole world.
Yeah. So,
Want to be inclusive and
yeah.
because if you listen to the pledge, it starts out small. I pledge my health to better living for my club, my community, my country, and then my world. So it starts off small and it grows large.
So one of my favorites is seeing that impact, and that's what we're after as 4-H agents. That's what that's what butters our bread, is being able to show impact and growth. As Amy mentioned, great to see those kids grow and expand. But James, what's some of your favorite memories of being a 4-H agent?
Okay, well, I'm glad you phrased it that way because I was a jock in school, and I did not do 4-H, which I'm sort of ashamed of because it's such a great program. But when I was first hired several years ago, I was excited because they took me in the book room. We used to have publications, pamphlets, and they took me in the book room, and I was looking through them, and I thought, man, there's a lot of stuff that I could have done, could have learned about. And I was so excited, I called my sister. And I told her, I said, I've just been hired, blah, blah, blah. And let me tell you about 4-H. And she stopped me right there and she said, do you remember the biscuits I used to bake? Do you remember the aprons I made? The clothes? She made me a 3-piece suit.
Oh, wow.
Through 4-H. Wow. And I was like, oh, that was 4-H. I didn't realize that. Yeah. But so for you jocks out there, if you get injured or you need a backup plan, come join us in 4-H. Mm-hmm. We have something for you. And along those same lines, we were talking about volunteers. We're constantly looking for people with expertise in a field. Mm-hmm. You come to us, you share with what your expertise is, and we can I'll almost guarantee we'll find a spot for you to work with you. We may not have the youth at the time, but we will beat the bushes until we find them. And speaking to that nature, I have a dog club volunteer lined up. If you are interested in learning about dogs, obedience through just general care and maintenance. Mm-hmm. Also rabbits, if you have interest in rabbits. And I have a goat leader, a person that's come forward. She has a beautiful farm. She has a facility. If you do not have the space to house a goat. She said that something could be worked out where you could house a goat on her place. But now back to your question. My most memorable and favorite experiences have been camp. I love taking youth to camp, 4th grade all the way through high school. And they go different weeks, of course. But 4th through 6th grade can go to what we call junior camp. Then 6th through 8th grade can go to what we call junior high camp. And then high school age, 9th through 12th grade, they go to what we call conferences primarily. But there's all-star conferences. There's special camps and conferences where they go to UT. They become a University of Tennessee student for a week. For example, academic conference, electric camp.
That'd be a great experience if your child wanted to go to college, right?
Yes. We have a program we call Tennessee State Congress, where they actually go to Nashville. They get to sit in the seat of their representative. They vote on mock bills. They learn how a bill becomes law. And on several occasions, they've actually got to meet the governor of Tennessee, and they become either a senator or a representative, House member. And it's a great experience. They get to tour Nashville. A lot of people from here haven't been to Nashville before, so it's a great opportunity. And then there's a national opportunity. You have to be high school to go to this one, and we promote it here in Blount County, 11th through 12th grade, but you could go as a 9th grader. It's called Citizenship Washington Focus, and it's like the Congress, but it's on a national level. And one year I was there, and Boris Yeltsin, I think that's his name. He may be dead now. He was from Russia. He was in town. And so there's an opportunity for you to meet all kinds of, I'm going to say, celebrities and personalities and movers and shakers.
I was in Florida then, but the previous president, Trump, came, our 4-Hers got to meet the president of the United States at some function, didn't they?
Yes, they held
a state event, and he showed up. President of the United States. Trump.
I was trying to think. They were, yeah, and he came through Knoxville too.
Mm-hmm. But that was one.
He was at the airport. Yeah. So I say that to say, if you stay with 4-H, because a lot of the traveling is done in high school or at the high school level. So if you stay with 4-H, there's opportunities for you to go. I just came back from this weekend. I was at a conference, we call it SRTLC, Southern Region Teen Leadership Conference. We had delegations from Kentucky, Florida, Alabama, Arkansas, and I'm missing one, Tennessee, of course. And we come together, and it's focused primarily on leadership and service. And I watch kids just bloom, just, pop, so like popcorn kernels. They come in hard, they're scared, they don't know what they're going to do. We put a little heat under them, and they pop open. Yeah. And at the end of the week, they're all crying because it's time to go home, and they don't want to go home. Yeah. So camping, I'm going to say that's probably my biggest love, joy.
And that's every year, right? You take kids every year. There's opportunity to go overnight camping.
Every year.
Greenville is our junior camp.
Our major camping center is in Greenville. Now, this past weekend we were in Crossville. They actually have 4 centers across the state. There's Columbia, where Target Smart has, which is a shooting sports camp conference. It has been held in Columbia. It has been held in Crossville. I'm not sure if they've had it in Greenville.
I think it's coming closer this way. I don't think it will be in Columbia this year. I'm not sure. That's still planning into details, but I believe it'll be closer to Blount County this year.
And we've got a new facility. I say new, it's probably been under development for the past 3 years, called Lone Oaks. It's in West Tennessee, Savannah. And it is a beautiful, beautiful setting out there.
Yeah. I was in that region when we purchased that property. It was
Okay.
a big undertaking, $15 million farm, and they've converted and have resident camping there, and it's a good haul here, but it's a totally different experience. I'm sure if an East Tennessee kid wanted to camp there, they'd probably have an avenue for that. Different state events maybe.
They would have to pay their own way out there.
Sure.
We do a lot of scholarships here for Blount County kids to go to Greenville. To go to Lone Oaks, it would take a little more
You're not taking
money.
a school bus to Lone Oaks.
No,
but
we have to do a chartered bus.
camping. Or so, what do they do at Greenville at camp? What's some things they have?
The biggies are we have the shooting courses. We have a .22 caliber. We have shotgun or trap shooting. We have archery, and we have black powder muzzle loading. We have basketball. We have Gaga ball. If you're not familiar with Gaga ball, you need to go camp with me one summer.
That's live at camp.
And it is. The Gaga pits stay full. But we have volleyball. We even have frisbee golf. I've actually taught it a couple of times at junior high camp. It's still a little reach for the junior members, but junior high and high school, we've done frisbee golf.
Mm-hmm.
I also teach GPS or geocaching at the junior high camp. Something we've added the last couple of years at junior high camp, there's a Greenville minor league baseball team there, the Greenville Flyers. We take the kids one night and go take in a baseball game just to get them off campus. And the bus ride over there, they're building their friendships and so forth and so on.
They have a swimming pool, like swimming.
Big swimming pool, water slides.
Oh yeah, diving boards.
You know how tall the
I don't know how tall it is, but there's always a line wrapped around the pool pretty much for the water slide.
I laugh because it takes people of all kinds, and there's a lot going on at camp. If you want me to have a miserable day at camp, put me at the pool. Kids love it. I do not enjoy it, but
where I, on the other hand, would rather be at the pool.
Really, yeah. So there's a lot to do, and at that camp, we also hope this year to have day camp. So if you don't want your child to spend overnight, or if you want a different option, we hope to have day camps where you'll drop your child off and pick them back up. We're looking to have one on wildlife, like Wildlife Outdoor Leadership Focus. WOLF is an acronym that I like to use. We also hope to have a grilling camp in June. So your kid will learn how to cook and prepare for that outdoor meat cookery, the Grill Master Challenge. So there's other avenues out there if you don't want overnight camping. But if you really want your child to have experience in the camp, that overnight's a great experience that you can't get elsewhere, and they have a lot to do, and it's a great campus, and all the volunteers are vetted, all the camp staff's vetted, so safety is their main priority. So very good, guys. If you want to join 4-H, how do you do so?
Well, you can always reach out to us. Probably the easiest way to remember is our website. The university has made this really exceptional. Blount, our county, BLOUNT.Tennessee, spelled out, .edu, and you can reach a lot of our programs, but also go to the About Us and staff page. You can find all of our contact information. Feel free to email either both of us or Ronnie, also all three of us. My email is aberger, that's BERGER2 @utk.edu.
My email is jmcmilli @utk.edu.
And our phone number for our office is 865-982-6430. And if you dial that extension 3, that'll take you to the 4-H agents, to our line. And obviously, if we aren't able to answer the phone at the time, feel free to leave a voicemail and or send us an email.
You can also find updates on that website that Ms. Berger gave you. In addition to that, each of my clubs, I make a Google Classroom. And so if your child joins 4-H, you can keep up with newsletters, you keep up with dates of importance, scholarship information, all sorts of stuff like that on our Google Classroom.
And to add to that, for access to everyone, we have a Facebook and Instagram page. If you find us on there, we post a lot of things, especially that Facebook page. That's UT-TSU Extension Blount County, or some combination of that. So find us on Facebook, and we are posting a lot of this stuff and a lot of updates about the things we've talked about today to our Facebook page, and that would be a great resource beyond just emailing us, which would be a great first step, but our Facebook would be a great resource for you.
Yeah, and if you don't live in Blount County, you can reach out to your county extension office. They'll get you in contact.
Yep.
And guys, we just really barely scratched the surface. We could talk all day about 4-H. There's a lot of different things that we didn't get to hit on today. If you'll go to Tennessee 4-H and just Google that, they have a lot of other programs that we didn't have time to mention, like portfolios, a lot of consumer decision making activities, and they can make you involved in any of those. So help you build your resume for your youth academic career, as well as far as the portfolios and different projects we're offering. Well, I greatly appreciate you stopping by today. And up next, we'll wrap it up with the Green and White Show, Appalachia at you, coming at you. All right. Thank you, Amy and James, for being great guests on the show. We have a lot going on in 4-H, as you can tell, in our county, and Tennessee 4-H overall does a great job in meeting a lot of youth. So if you have questions, comments about being in 4-H, contact me, rcowan2 at utk.edu. If you're in Blount County, or Amy or James, go to your local extension agent office and check them out. Again, 4-H is housed at your county extension office. So there's an office in every county, so you can check them out. They talked about their favorite 4-H memories. One of mine is getting to work with youth. I really like seeing youth grow and learn, and I have a passion about natural resources and like to do education as far as that goes, being involved in different aspects of that. So again, 4-H is a very important part of what we do in extension, and if you want to become involved, check us out. So if you hear that tone, you know that something is up. So we have something to highlight today. We've got one of these pests to highlight. So unfortunately, we have another insect to talk about that has made its way into Tennessee. It is the spotted lantern fly. So real pretty looking bug. Unfortunately, it is detrimental. It is harmful to a range of crops and natural resources. An invasive insect first discovered in Pennsylvania 9 years ago has made its way to Tennessee, officials said. The Tennessee Department of Agriculture said that spotted lantern fly was found in Davidson County, making Tennessee the 16th state to detect the invasive species. Insects can spread long distances when people and vehicles move infested items containing egg masses. So if you see it, we have orders to kill it on sight. So it is this bug here. It's got red wings. It's very, very pretty bug, yellow, red with shades of blue in the wings. You can find it out at Channel 10 News has got a good article up. You can find it on Facebook as well, of that to be cautious of. So We have a treat next month in October. We're going to do a spooky edition here of Appalachia at ya. So we'll be talking more about scary things. So make sure you tune in for that. All right, with that, we'll go ahead and transition to our downtown. All right, so don't forget, Sturgeon Fest is coming up. They are sold out of reservations for putting baby sturgeon in the water, so if you missed out that, but you can still attend the event and learn about reintroducing sturgeon into the French Broad. It is a part of the Friends of Seven Islands State Birding Park and presented by TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority. So it is coming up soon, Saturday, October the 7th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Seven Islands Boat Ramp. Make sure you can visit that, check them out, and be a part of Sturgeon Fest. One that we're doing here locally is Blunt Walks. It's Walk Across Tennessee, Blunt County. You can find this on our Facebook page at UT Extension Blunt County. And it is a team-based walking program. The teams are encouraged to cumulatively walk the equivalent of the length of Tennessee, which is about 500 miles or more, over a 6-week period. Team members do not have to walk together. Some may prefer to walk outside while others on a treadmill. The team who walks the farthest across Tennessee will win, but everyone who participates will take on a healthy habit, walking for fitness. So step 1, form a team. You need a team of 4 members. And the team captain will fill out the team registration link below. Registration began on Friday, September the 22nd, and you have till Friday, October the 13th to register. So our program assistant, Rachel Lawson, is heading that up. So make sure that you check that out on our Facebook page. The links can be found there to register. So it's a healthy initiative, Walk Across Tennessee. You can contact Rachel Lawson by email at rlawso14, RLAWSO14 at utk.edu. Or you can give us a call at 865-982-6430. That is the show today. Again, 4-H is the theme. Remember us next week, or next month rather, we will be doing something pretty spooky in honor of Halloween. So Friday's on October the 13th. That might be a good podcast day to release that one. I've got a special guest in mind. So thanks again for stopping by. And thank you for the people who visit us in our cerebral rocking chair. And see you in my favorite month, October.